living in a downtown core where there's infrastructure, where there are streetcars, where there's a vivacious community. That's a very different space than being in a suburb where literally people go to work, they come home, they close their doors, you don't interact with your neighbors on a regular basis. Those are very different forms of community spaces.
Youth in this neighborhood don't get the extended adolescence that children or youth from other areas do. So in their spare time, they have to work to support the family. They have to babysit their brothers and sisters. And because of that, they have to make sacrifices.
I would like my kid to grow up with some type of place to go play.
It's definitely busier in the winter when the dome is up. I think just because there aren't very many other places to play in the winter.
Teams are not going to practice on concrete, right? We need fields to play on.
I was on a Jumpstart program, which meant like they gave me like maybe $200 to play. My parents told me that if I wanted to play, it was my responsibility. So I had to start babysitting with my mom, my parents' friends.
I think the community should have done better. We should like have more opportunities because there's so many kids that I see today that are like really skilled, like they're good kids.
If you're from the hood and there's nothing going for you, you're always gonna end up back in the hood.
When it comes to where these spaces are located, low-income housing, they're usually in really poor condition because they're not really well taken care of. They're usually in neighborhoods where the young people who are living in those spaces are also looking for things to do. They're looking for ways to stay involved, to be connected to each other. Those are all of the ways in which young people are looking for outlets to be preoccupied and to do something that is alternative to maybe getting involved in drug use or criminal activity. They're looking for other outlets to be involved and be connected.
Yeah, growing up in Bleecker, I don't even know how many friends I lost, you know? And it's for senseless gun violence, you know? They're gone for no reason, so it's, you know, you're never gonna see them again. They're being buried by their parents, you know? It should be the other way around. Yeah, I can't even describe how it feels, to be honest. Like, fuck. When your friend dies, it's hard to take, to be honest. You know, you wanna ride out for them. Most times, kids are living off emotion. They're not thinking about the consequences.
You know, soccer don't work out for everyone, right? So, you know, it ends up being something they start jumping into traps. You know, so that's where the units come in. You know, pick up a unit, we bust it down, you know, we break it down, and we just nip it down to the buckets, you know. Right? By the end, you're ending up doubling up your profits, right? You see, like, it's not only units that we deal with, right? Crystal meth, you know, winds, ice, you name it, we got it, you know. The straps, you want it, we got it, you know.
We really glamorize what the older heads were doing when we were so young. You know, we're a product of our environment. You know, we become what we see. So trapping was the easy way out, where we could provide for our family. Because in most cases, our parents are working long hours and sometimes 2 different jobs. So we wanted to help out, but I wanted to take a different route. I wanted to provide for my family and make money by playing soccer overseas. In Europe, soccer didn't really work out. And then when I came back, it was just back to the bullshit, you know, crushed dreams. It was my reality.
Drawing him out. It's drawing him out. He was already coming to me. I have to clear, I have to.
Why are we playing half field when we have a full field?
Ain't nobody want to stand there and watch. Everybody wants to play. Are you guys in physical shape now? Because I don't see this guy running.
Oh, this guy is something else.
You, I see you running now and then, but nowadays you're slowing down. What happened? No, literally, what happened? Chill. What happened?
Nothing, I can run, trust me.
So what happened? What's happening nowadays? Why is that?
Today I was playing good.
Friday last time?
Well, what happened last Friday?
You weren't running.
All right, you know what? The next time you see me play, I'm the best.
Yeah, me too. Of course. That's the main goal that we're here for. We're here to learn it. I want to see some intelligence. I want to see somebody set somebody up, tat. And then I'm like lost. I'm like, yo, what happened to me? I like that shit. That shit excites me.
1 second, sorry, I'm so sorry. Yeah, hello?
Chop.
Hi, Athena. Is everything good? Yeah? I scored a goal for you. Yeah. You seen Santa? Oh my goodness, did you like it? Huh? You took pictures? Oh my goodness. You know, they say idle hands lead to trouble. So I started selling a little bit of this and that. It landed me in jail, which took time away again from soccer, which I could have been practicing. This is all time that I could have been using to do stuff that would be productive for myself and for the community. Because if I'm out there committing crimes, I'm hurting the community. But if I'm out there playing soccer, I'm not hurting nobody. I'm just having fun.
Young marginalized people want spaces to interact and want places to engage and just be together. And I think that that's super important. Because when you think about what sports are about, it's about engaging in something that's fun. It's exhilarating. You're connecting to folks. And the same thing with other leisure activities, drugs, for example, or other involvement. It's the same thing. It's about an escape. You want an escape, and sports provide that escape.
Where do you see yourself? At 25, 26? Where do you see yourself?
Well, like, with all honesty, when I'm 26, 25, and I think I can do this, and I'm of course hoping, but I'm gonna see myself as like the best soccer player in the world when I'm 26. Yeah, professional soccer player on the best team, best player.
Best team? Which team?
Well, of course it's for Real Madrid.
Yeah.
But yeah, better than those guys, Ronaldo, Pele, all of them. Yeah. That's where I want to be. It's the only thing I can think of. My practice is at 8 a.m., but I had to wake up at 6:30 a.m., wait for a bus alone, and then the buses usually take like 20, 30 minutes just to come. And a lot of the times my practice locations are in places that the TTC doesn't run in, so that often ends up in me having to like run kilometers and like, you know, just to go to my practice.
Soccer is the biggest youth sport in Canada in terms of participation, and especially our men's game, our men's team is shit. And why is that? How is that, right? It's because it's not accessible. They just implemented this league called the OPDL. It costs like $5,000 for a kid to play. So you're missing out on huge segments of the population, and actually in the case of immigrant neighborhoods, where the real passion for the game is.
I love soccer, and one day, I want to become a professional soccer player. And I'm gonna work as hard as I can and do everything I need to do so that I don't become another kid that just fades away.
We tried going to, let's say, the MLS field. We tried going there. And so we'd go and we'd have to compete for half the field with all the other guys that were already there wanting to play. And that was already a struggle as it is. So we can never find really a consistent place to play.
We started the program to address barriers to access facing young women in this neighborhood regarding their access to sport. When I came here as part of a graduate project from the University of Toronto, I was working predominantly with the boys. And I would come here and I would always notice that if there was any girls ever, they would kind of just be on the sidelines watching. So I came up with the idea, well, why don't we have a girls-only sport time? And I mean, this is just a small piece. 2 hours a week isn't enough, but at this point, it's a start. We're just trying to grow the game locally for young women.
A lot of the teams play either in the east end or the west end, and I live dead center. Who's gonna take me all the way there when I'm in grade 7? So that kind of stopped me.
The issue, I think, in this neighborhood is that there's no local league right, to actually start them playing from a young age. And the limited amount of green space that there is dominated by the boys. So often what you'll see is the boys playing on the field and the girls are on the outside. I have 30 girls on the team, even though we're awful, because they want to play. This is the sport that they want to play. They don't want to play hockey. They want to play soccer. But in terms of that next level, getting them into competitive streams, there's clear barriers.
Parliament after an electrical fire in the basement. More than 1,000 people are not able to return to their units.
260 Wellesley Street is in complete pitch black.
As this has been an electrical and water issue, I can unfortunately not tell you anything in terms of the cause as to what happened. I have no idea at this point.
I will not be able to lead any criminal investigation. I don't think the mayor can either.
Hi, my question's for Danny. My question is this. About 6 months ago, we had the 650 Parliament fire. About 3 months ago, we had a flood in 240. Now there's floods in 260. I say this with all due respect. Is Wellesley Parliament Square complicit in negligence leading to the downgrade of our buildings?
In any of the incidents that you've mentioned, that there's anything other than, that there's anything from a negligence perspective, anything that the buildings or...
Last night, I stayed at the hotel. Who's gonna pay for that hotel that I, paid for?
So again, as I said earlier, my hope is that your tenant insurance will cover that hotel stay for last night.
That's not a sport. How about you pay?
Listen, I know sometimes you get answers that you don't like. I didn't like that answer. I didn't like the answer. But that's the one I have right now. No, hold on, folks. Listen, folks, you're doing great. You're doing great. I'm trying to get you the answer. And I want him to answer, and I want you to hear the answer. So the question is, will the property owner compensate the tenants for any out-of-pocket expenses?
Councillor, I hope that I've answered that question a couple of times. Sir, I can't answer it.
It's a yes or no question. It's easy.
I'd ask you to speak to me below, so I'm trying to speak to you.
We're gonna need to. I understand. I understand. Listen, I want to get you that answer. But if you...
So the fire happened on the 21st. I was away with my team at a preseason camp. And I heard about the news when I was on the bus. My dad called me and he was like, don't go back to the home. It's burned out. Come to this location. I had to stay in the community center for 2 days because we didn't have a place. They took like a long time to accommodate housing, hotels, all that kind of stuff. So I had to live with my aunt for about 3 months. And I'm still living with her because I don't have a place.
Putting tenants first, which is a brand new document that will be coming from the city later on this summer in June of 2019. That again prioritizes the lived experience and the social and health well-being of tenants. So another guiding document, another strategy that will hopefully help address all the service and structural deficits that are there.
Everywhere you turn, condo, 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 and it's like, where's everybody else gonna go? When they first started to build and they first started to elevate the floors, what happened was they had to make a leveling so that they can go higher and higher and higher. One of the levelings is right in front of my window. So even if they hadn't had the leveling, if I had opened my window, complete darkness.
When this was built, the first initial statement was it was being built for the communities. They basically just took it and we get the, lack of a better word, the shit end of the stick. And me, I'm an old man, so I don't really mind so much if it's taken from me. But who it hurts is the younger ones growing up.
seeing the disappearance of entire neighborhoods and communities, right? Regent Park being one, again, this gentrification process that was supposed to be about, revitalizing. They make these words sound so pretty. We're going to revitalize. We're going to, rebuild and bring the community back to these, wonderful, living conditions and living quarters, only to be very selective about who they brought back. Racialized low-income communities are being, pushed out, unfortunately, and erased, essentially, from the Toronto core in a very big way, in a very rapid way.
I think that you have to question why you would put 3 or 2 massive high-rises in a community that is already so densely populated. Is that for the public interest, or is it at the behest of private investors that want to make money? Whereas that space could have been developed for the community, right? Because now you're going to have more people trying to access a limited amount of services. And we're going to see how much social mix occurs. But this is really like the last neighborhood in the city where newcomers can settle.
Unfortunately, when our politicians get in bed with corporate interests and capitalist interests, this is kind of where we land. So it's a lot of condo developments, it's a lot of selling of land, might I add, indigenous land. And on top of that, we're building concrete structures on space that could otherwise be green space, or space where young people can, and just all people can establish a standard of life, especially in the Toronto core, where land is such like a commodity. And what that then means for racialized low-income communities, that one, you're in substandard housing, you're dealing potentially with job instability or economic instability, and on top of it, you don't have places to just engage in humanistic interactions like leisure or sports.
We play in our gym from winter to summer, and then on Fridays at the center. And even at our Jarvis field, our field is crap, complete crap. Patches, it goes like this off a loop, and it's like when you're playing full year-round in a gym, when you have your outdoor season like 2 weeks away, and it's like, how do you play outdoor?
So this sort of used to be like a decrepit field with an old track around it. So what the owner of Razor Management did was he struck a deal with the school board to redevelop the field. The high school would benefit by having a brand new field at 0 cost to the school board. The company would benefit by permitting out the field outside of school hours. The field is free for anyone to use all summer when the dome is down, but the problem with that is the field is permitted.
We would usually go to those communities and try to sneak in instead of paying just to play. But we would get kicked out, and then we would just come back home and just like do nothing. Yeah, but like playing in this community center, it's just like one time a week, and especially with like the goal that I had, it was hard. Because you can't train one time a week and then try to be where I wanted to be. So it kind of forced us to like shovel the snow outside, like on the field, just to get like a space for us to play.
Just for playing for leisure, why do we have to pay like $10 for an hour just to play soccer?
Yeah, so we had programs in our area, which I think weren't up to par to other areas in Toronto. We didn't get that much funding. We were playing on shitty fields. And the programs ended once we were 13, 14. So after that, that's the age where the youth are most at risk. We're sheltered until we're at that age. And then once we're at that age and the programs disappear, we're on our own. So we have more time to do whatever we wanted to do.
The young people who are living in those spaces are also looking for things to do. They're looking for ways to stay involved, to be connected to each other.
The City of Toronto is very keen to permit playtime. And so that means leagues, organized sports leagues from across the city can apply for a permit. And that means that they have then exclusive use over that particular facility. And if you happen to be a youth who does not belong to the league, or an adult that doesn't belong to that league, you don't get to play.
If the city can, build so many condos, and why can't they just build, like a field that's nearby St. Jamestown like that? thousands of kids live in. And
the resolution to that is to build more play structures, to build more play fields, to repurpose parks, to open up our streets, to allow children and youth and all ages to really engage in physical activity that will make a huge difference at the end of the day in their physical and mental well-being.
We need to be putting resources into communities at every single level. So yes, it's organized sports, but it's also improving housing, also making spaces for low-income and racialized and Indigenous communities to live in the downtown core of Toronto. It's addressing systemic racism in all of its forms. It's addressing colonization in all of its forms.
And the community knows, hopefully, that there is strength in numbers. And as a new councillor, I've actually said to them, bring me the visions.
You know, a lot of people say try, you know, chase your dreams. And even if you don't make it, all that matters is that you tried your best. But I don't think that's the case. You know, I'm trying my best. A lot of people in my community are trying their best. But we're not given the proper exposure, the proper opportunities to actually try our best.
When I think of Bleecker, I don't think about the fucked up buildings. I don't think about how shitty it looks. But I'll always remember the friends I made, the childhood memories, the connections. So it's more of an emotional attachment, and that's why I love my community.